Welcome back everyone to the fourth part of the Western Stylized Saloon, and what we're going to do in this one is we're going to build our sign and we're going to build our walkway. So let's start with the walkway. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab these planks down here, press the tab button, come up to edge select, I'm going to grab these planks here, shift D, pull them up and let's put them in place. So let's put them down and pull them out a little bit to whereabouts you want your actual wall to start, and once you're happy, bring actually your wall in. So shift D, bring it up, RZ minus 45, and let's bring it across and pull it down. And we're going to make this higher than what this actually is, so we're going to add some more planks going up. I just want to get it into place first of all, something like that. And then what we'll do is we'll press shift D, RZ 45, put this on normal, like so. And we don't want it to go actually past this point, but we can shrink it with SX, so shrink it down a little bit. Don't be scared of doing that. Pull it out, just so it sits on the edge of here. There is going to be a support going across here, so shift D, RZ minus 90. And let's do this side, and we want the walkway along here to be much thinner than one on the bottom, obviously. And let's pull this one across as well, and it's overhanging a little bit, we don't really want that, so S and X, let's shrink it down a little bit, pull it a little bit more. And it's not even, and it's not supposed to be. That's the best thing about doing stylized things, nothing has to really be even. So now all we need to do is make this part here and this part here. So what we'll do is we'll bring in a plane. So shift A, plane, bring it up, and let's rotate it. So RZ 45, and we'll start getting this in place. And we'll try, that's what I normally do, I'll bring it down just so it sinks below this one. I'll hold the shift just so it's really level with it, and then I'll pull it out to where it's going to need to be. I'll pull it this way, and I want it a bit further in, so I'll press SY, pull it out a little bit, okay, something like that. Then I'll press tab, edge select, pull this edge across like so to where it's going to go, and I think I'm about there, maybe a little bit more, so something about there. Come to your vert select, and if you click here you should be able to grab it just like that. And then I'll put it on global, and I'll just start pulling this round to there and then pulling it down just to where I need it, and something like that. I do want a little bit of a gap in, I've got a little bit of a gap there. I might need to just pull this a little bit that way. Let's grab this one once more, pull it a little bit more just so there's not so much of a gap. We're okay with a tiny gap like that, that should be fine. Press tab, shift A, bring in a new plane. Let's bring this up again. I'll hold the shift button down just so it drops through. There we go. So it's just sitting on the top like that. And then I'm going to rotate this round. So RZ minus 45. Put this on normal just to get it in place. So something like that. Make it a little bit wider. So SY. And let's pull it up to where it's going to go. Tab, edge select, pull it out. So I think this one will be okay there. Grab your vert, let's put it back on global, and let's pull it in to where it's going to go. So something like that. You can see this one's a little bit too far, so I'm just going to pull it back. I do want it relatively close like we said. Okay, something like that looks absolutely fine. So now let's make our planks of wood. So we'll press tab and we'll join these two together just for now, just to make it a little bit easier. Put this on normal. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to make a cut along here, because if I bring in my edge loop, you can see it's going at a horrible angle, and we don't really want an angle like that. So what we'll do is we'll grab this one, press 7, zoom in a little bit, come up to mesh, bisect, and we're going to bisect it down. I need to make sure that it's going relatively level with this up here. So we can see that's pretty level, and if we zoom out we can see now it's very level with this. And now if I press Ctrl R, press 5, left click, right click, you can see that these planks are nice and level, and we've got a nice piece down here which is exactly what we wanted. So now let's do the same with this side. A, mesh, bisect, and let's start it something around there. And let's try and make it as level as we can. Okay, so Control R, 5, left click, right click, and there we go. They're looking very nice. So now all we want to do is we want to grab all of these now and Control E and mark seams. And if it's not showing you seams, just make sure that your seams are ticked on. Remember on the last lesson we just turned these seams off, so these two interlocking links, turn your seams on and you'll be able to see them. Now let's make our edge loop. So 3, left click, right click, and now we'll do the same this side. So Control R, 3, left click, right click. Now let's split these up. So we'll grab each one individually, press Y, G, and just make sure they're split. And now they're all split, we can actually extrude them up. So E, pull them up like so. And the thickness doesn't really matter on these because they're going to be in here, no one will be able to see them. But the thing is, I don't actually want to join the bottom of these. I do want to delete the faces to save on the polygons, a lot of polygons on these. But if we join these up at these angles, we might actually affect our bevel modifier when we add it on. So what we'll do now is we'll make sure in face select, and we'll do this one first. And we'll make sure that we are on individual origins, S and X, sorry, Y, and pull them in like so. And let's do this one. So S, Y, pull them in. Alright, so all we need to do now is we need to come to edge select and put proportional editing on, and we're just going to pull these out just a little bit, just to make them a little bit different like we've been doing all the way along. And you can do this with random or just the smooth on the proportional editing, and I think they look quite nice already actually, so I don't think I'll need to do the random on these. So let's pull this one out, just making sure I've not pulled that one up too far. I'll be able to see better when I've got the material on, which we're going to put on next. Alright, something like that. Okay, so let's grab these ones first, and we'll just throw on our first material. So I'll grab material plus wood plank 1. There we go. Okay, so let's now split them up because that's going to be a little bit easier. So we'll grab this one, P, selection, tab, click on this one, Control A, all transforms, right click, set origin to geometry. Now let's do this one exactly the same. Come back to this one, and now we'll add in our bevel modifier like so, and they're looking very nice as you can see. So let's turn this down to, I think these, let's click on this, these are 0.1, so this is 0.1 now, and I think they'll look good like that. So let's do the same on this one, 0.1, and there we go. Okay, so last of all, let's now change the colors of these. So we'll grab this one and maybe this one. Let's come back to this, and we'll add in wood planks 2, and I might as well add in the other ones just in case we want to change them. Okay, so let's assign these to these, hide these out of the way, and we'll grab one of them, sign, hide, and then 5, sign, Alt H. Let's have a look what they're looking like. So double tap the A just to see, and yeah, I think I'm very happy with how that looks. So now what I'll do is I'll grab this one and this one, press Ctrl L, materials, and now let's go to this one and add in our materials. So I'm going to grab this one and this one, and then I'll grab this one and this one, and then this one, And finally this one. There we go. Okay, and remember at the moment we've got 2 light sources on these, so they're not going to be this glowing up in the dark so much. If I actually come over and go down and just turn my other sun off, you can see, look, you can see much more now what they're actually going to look like. So let's just turn that back on. That's just there so we can actually see what we're doing within the scene. So I'm going to grab both of these, pull them down just so they're level. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I can see when it drops past that point, look, hold the shift button down and then you can get them nice and level. Double tap the A and let's have a look. So the last thing I want to do is I want to just bring this one out a bit. We didn't alter this one, it needs altering a little bit. It's a bit too straight. So let's do this one first, and we'll come to vert select. Let's grab this vert, make sure we're on smooth, and just move it just a little bit like that, just to give it a tiny bit more character like so. And then we'll come to this one and we'll move this one out a little bit, and I think we'll also move this one. Just be careful that there's not too much gap down there. Double tap the A, and there we go. And I think actually while I'm here I'm just going to move these ones up a bit closer to it, just so there's not too much gap. And I saw a gap down here as well, so I'm going to grab these, pull them up like so. Okay, tab, double tap the A, and that is the walkway pretty much finished on this part. So now let's think about adding in our sign. How are we going to do that? We're going to press Shift S, just make sure the cursor is to world origin. Shift A, let's bring in a cylinder. Let's make sure it's on 12, that should be absolutely fine. And let's bring it up and let's spin it around, so RX90, 1, and let's make it bigger. So what we're looking for here, we want the sign to go up, come to around this point here, and then go round. And obviously it needs to be higher than these are here. So what we'll do is we'll squish it in first. So S, in fact, let's put global back on. That'll make it a little bit easier for us. S and Y, and bring it in, something like that. Now it's up to you how far you want your sign to go over or behind. Behind though, you don't really want it to pass this point, to be honest. So you want it to stay relatively within here. So if I show you what I mean, if I bring it there, you can see that post will come up behind it and keep it level with this. So now if I grab in face select the front and the back, press delete faces, and now I'll grab this one and press delete faces, and now we'll grab all of this, delete faces, and you should end up with something like this. So now you're going to come to edge select, press 1, E, X, pull it out a little bit to where it's going to go. So something like there. It's going to go quite far along. It's maybe even going to pass this post. We're going to have a look when we actually pull in our modifier, which will be solidify. Grab this one, E, Z, pull it down. So I want it to start something relatively close to this part here. And I think at the moment, let's just grab it, press 1 and just bring it across without proportional editing on. Something like that. And I'm just going to bring this over just a little bit more, because we've got 2 cards that are going to sit here, and we've got our sign that's going to sit here where it's going to say Saloon. So let's press Tab, Control A, all transforms. Important we do that before we add the modifier. Origin to geometry, come to our little spanner, add modifier, and we're going to add in a solidify. And now let's pull it, not that way, this way, even thickness, and let's have a look what that's going to look like. And you can see it's probably going to have to go up a little bit, and I think it will have to be a little bit thicker. So let's make it a little bit thicker and pull it up a little bit more. So something like that, I think I'll be happy with that. And now what we'll do is we'll apply this, tab, grab these faces here, I'm going to press I, bring them in like so, and then I'm going to press E, pull this back, and now this is nearly ready for our saloon lettering. And what we'll do first is we'll add in now a material. So first of all though, right click, shade smooth, auto smooth, And now it's up to you whether you want to get rid of these parts here. Underneath seems absolutely fine, just these two here, so we can bring this up, look, and get rid of them like that. You're still going to have obviously some lumpiness there, and that's simply because this is very, very low poly. So I think I'm happy with it though, being like that. And now what I'll do is I'll come to my modifier, add in a bevel modifier, bring it down to, let's say, 0.2. Click apply, and then we'll add the material. It's going to be the post material. So come down to where it says wood post, and there we go. Double tap the A and just make sure that you're happy with it. And again, if you want to check without the sun, just turn that off. And now we're ready to add our saloon text on here. So again, make sure your cursor's in the center. So cursor to world origin, Shift A, and you'll see one that's called text. Bring that in, pull it out, RX90. Let's turn it up the right way first. And what we want to do is just make sure that it's going to fit in here. So you can see here it's a bit too big, so let's make it a little bit smaller, something like that. And you can see now that should fit in nicely in the center going round. So let's first of all bring it here, press the tab button, and let's type in saloon. And now what you're going to do is press tab, come over to this little letter sign over here. This will appear now you've brought in a text. Click on it, and the first thing I'm going to do is bring in our font. Now your font, there'll be a link down below to this font that takes you to a Dropbox. Just download it and then you'll be able to bring it in. So if I click on this button now, and here is my font. It's called Cowboys OTF, so double click that and you should end up with something like this. And now what we need to do, just scroll up and you'll see one called extrude. Just pull this out and then it should be nice and chunky, and that's how you want it. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to obviously make a curve in here. So what we'll do is we'll just hide this out of the way just for now. Shift A, come to where it says curve, and we're going to bring in a Nurbs Curve. Bring it over, RX90. Press 1, let's pull it up. And now we need to make it fit into here. So it's quite easy to do. Press tab, grab this one and this one, let's pull them out. And you can see here that it's slightly bent there and we don't really want that. So if we grab this one, press delete and vertices, and then that'll make it much straighter for you, make it a lot easier. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab this one, EZ, pull it down to where we want it. And what we're looking for is a nice curve along here. So you can see that at the moment it wants to be going along the middle, which it is near enough. You pull this one a bit this way, see? And then pull these two up, and now you can see that it's going nice and curved along. And maybe this one and this one just want pulling down a little bit. And what we'll do is we'll see how our sign actually fits going around there. So now what we'll do is press tab, Alt H, bring back the saloon, click on it, come down, and you'll see one that says transform text to curve. Click on this, Nurbs Curve, and you'll end up with something like that. Drag it across, and now you'll be able to see how this is going to fit in. You can see that at the moment it's a little bit too big. It's not going to fit in there very well, so let's make it a little bit smaller and pull it across like so. And now we can manipulate this. If we click on our curve, press tab, and if we pull this across now, you'll see if I grab my saloon, pull it over to where it needs to go. And there we go. Right, let's bring this down like so. And then I think we'll pull this out a little bit and pull this in a little bit. And there we go. We're getting a nice curve now, as you can see. So if I pull this up now and then pull this one down a little bit, like so. Okay, so you can see now it's going round there and it's ending here, and there's going to be a nice space for us for our cards. So what we need to do now is we'll grab the saloon part, click on it, come over to object, and you're going to go down to convert mesh from curve meta surf text. So click on that, and then we can delete this curve out of the way, and then you should be left with just this. So now all we need to do is drag this in place, put it in something like that, And there we go. Let's add a material onto that. So plus, new, base color, nice red color. Maybe that's a little bit too dark. Let's have a look. Double tap the A. And just decide then whether you want it a bit darker or a bit lighter. Let's have a look if we can make it a little bit lighter. And there we go. I think that fits the scene very well like that. Okay, so now let's bring in another piece of text. So Shift A, text, bring it over, RX90, 1, let's bring it up, tab, delete it out of the way, capital A, and now let's come to our text, press tab, come to your text, bring in the same font as what you've done for this one. So open, and there's my cowboy, so double click it, and it'll come like that. And now what I want to do is I just want to extrude, not quite as far as the other one, just a little bit. Something like that should be fine. And now I'm just going to convert this mesh from curve meta surf text. So now let's press Ctrl A, all transforms, right click, set origin to geometry. Now these are quite high on the polygon count, so I don't want to use a bevel modifier on them. I think they'll be absolutely fine the way they are. So now it's just a case of making our card. So if you press Shift A, bring in some a mesh. We'll bring in a cube, bring it over, and now we want to basically see how big our cards are going to be. So SY, let's squish in a little bit and bring it over to where our first card's going to be. And we're going to press S and Z, bring it up, make it smaller. And you want these to be card side, so you don't want them to be too crazy stretched or anything like that. I'm going to pull mine out here and just put it in place, and then I'm going to check. And at the moment I feel like that is more of a card size. So I do want it to be so I can see the bottom of here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press tab, edge select, and select these 4 edges going around here. And this one here, and I do need to play out a bit, as you can see. Control B, and then what you'll do is you'll come down to where it says segments. If this is not open, just open it up. So I press Control B to bevel it, and now I'm going to turn up the segments probably twice, and that gives us those round corners like you would expect of a card. So now all we need to do is just fix this mesh, because this mesh is a bit of a mess at the moment. As you can see, this is one polygon, and one polygon like this means it's an n-gon, and that's not going to be very good if you wanted to take this into another program. So let's pull it out a little bit first. So we'll get it into place where it's going to go, like so. And before we duplicate over the other side, I would sooner fix this as well. So let's first of all come to face select, delete this face and this face. So delete faces, and there's 2 ways of doing this. You can first of all go to edge select, Alt Shift click, that'll grab them all, and press Alt F, and that will fill it in. It fills it in. It's a little bit messy, so I don't use it that often. What I would sooner do is I would come and minus this top one off, minus the bottom one off, right click, and we're going to bridge edge loops instead. And now you can see that's a much cleaner mesh. So Alt Shift click, top, bottom, right click, bridge edge loops, and there we go. And now what we'll do is we'll shade this smooth, auto smooth, and I want to turn that up just to get rid of those edges, so it's like that, nice and smooth. And on these I'm not actually going to use the bevel modifier. It's probably going to be a bit funny because we filled in this face. You can still bevel it if you want to. You just literally grab the edge, press Ctrl B and bevel it that way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my A, bring it up, and just put it in place to where it's going to go. So S, like so. I think that should be okay then. I'm going to just pull it back first before I duplicate it. So there we go. And now what I want to do is I want to just duplicate it. So I'm going to press Shift D, bring it down, and then spin it around. So R, Y, 180, press 1. I'm going to put it in the corner over here. And if I want to see the other one, I'll just have to turn around this way. So what I'll do first of all is I'll now give them some materials. So So plus, new, and we'll call this card. And we forgot to name the saloon, so I will name this one. So let's name it saloon sign, like so. And you can see that at the moment it's not very white, and the reason for that is we haven't got our proper lighting in yet. Trust me, it is white, it's just not showing up very well. Just make sure that it's up at the top, something like that. And then what we'll do is we'll grab this one and this one, and we'll join them together. So Control J, and then we'll add in our color, and we're going to look for saloon sign. Let's put them that color, and then just make sure that you're happy with how far in they are. And the one thing that we can do to actually bring down our polygon count is we can bring these out first, press the tab button, and what we're going to do now is we're going to press C. Should have done this before actually joining them together, but never mind. So let's just grab them all like this with the C button. And to make this take them away, you press the middle one. To make it select them, you press the left one, and you can make it bigger and smaller with the middle mouse. So I'm just going to grab those, right click to get it off, press delete, faces. We don't need those back faces. And let's now come to this one, press down number pad just to zoom you in there, C. And let's do the same with these, delete, faces, and there we go. Okay, let's press tab and put them back, and now we'll clean up our saloon sign. So pull that out as well, dot, tab, and you can see there's a lot of faces here which we really don't need. So let's come to this one first. And there is an easier way actually of probably doing this. You can probably mark the seams and then press L and do this. That can make it a little bit easier, but I'm just going to clean them up for like this for now. Just make sure I've not got those two. Same with this one. Let's go round like so. And I think, whoops, we've got all those on the top, just the bottom. Okay. Okay, that's that one. Like so, and the last one. Let's make sure I've got all those. And then just this part here. Alright, so I'm just going to go around the front just to make sure I've not got anything I don't want. Delete, faces, and I can press tab and pull that back in place. So now let's make our diamond sign first. So Shift A, and we're going to make a cube, and let's bring it out. Turn it round when we go it nearly there. So S, bring it up. RY 45. There we go. And I've noticed that the diamond on these is a little bit stretched, so I'm going to put it in place. Then press tab, A to grab everything, S, Z, and let's just pull it up so it's more of a diamond shape like that. And then let's press S and Y, squish it in, and we'll get rid of this back face. So delete faces, tab, Control A, all transforms, right click, so origin to geometry, and now we can pull it in place, and when we manipulate it we know it's going to be right. So let's pull it out a little bit. One, let's make sure where that is nice and chunky and it's thin, nearly in the middle. I think I need to move this just a little bit this way. Oops, I'll grab this with like so. Grab this with my select like so. There we go. Okay, let's level this bit up now, and I think that's about level there. So let's bring in the material, and obviously it's going to be saloon sign red. Alright, so now what we can do is we can grab all of these, press Ctrl J, make sure they're all together, make sure that we've got our auto smooth on, which it is, and I'm just going to look around them just to make sure it's fine before I carry on. And when you're happy with it, let's press tab now, and we'll grab, in fact what we'll do is we'll just press Shift D, bring it out, and we'll grab the diamond, press delete, vertices, and now let's just colour these a different colour. So just L a few times just to make sure you've got them. Press the G, and then you'll make sure you've got them on. You can see that I've got the 2 on the inside missing, so I'm going to press L on the inside of there, and now press G again, and now I've got them all. And now I'm going to come over to our materials, plus, new, and we're going to call this card black. And now we're just going to go to base color and click assign first, base color, turn them down to black, and let's have a look how black I need them. Yeah, and that looks very nice like that. Maybe it's a little bit too black, maybe it's at the bottom, so let's just, not quite at the bottom. I tend to stick away from anything at the bottom over at the very top. So there we go, and now we just need to make our club. So let's press tab and click on face select, click the middle of this card, Shift S, cursor to selector, that's going to put that there. Press tab, now I'm going to bring in a cylinder, so bring in a cylinder, it's going to appear right here. So RX 90, it is on 12 again, like we keep having them. Press 1 and let's look where we're going to bring this up to. So I imagine it's going to be probably about here, maybe it wants to be a bit smaller. And what I'm looking for is where it's going to join each side. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'll press Shift D, bring it down, and we're looking to make the club sign. And if we join them up, so if I bring it a little bit closer, look, a little bit out. So if I join them up here now, that should actually make a nice club sign. So how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, join them together. So Control J, tab, delete these faces, so delete faces, and the back ones we're not going to need those, delete faces, and then we'll press A, S, Y, let's squish them in just a little bit, pull them out, and now let's join them together where we feel they're going to join. So edge select, let's grab this edge and this edge, press the F button, and now we need to look at where this is going to come down. So it's probably going to come here from this one. I press 1, look, you can see it's probably going to come down from here and then splay out. So I'm going to press E, Z, bring it down, and then pull it out, and let's have a look at that. And if I delete now these 2 faces, so delete faces, you can see if you press 1 that's kind of the look that we're actually going for, and we can change this as we go along. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to delete this top and bottom face, so delete faces, and you'll see the ones I've deleted, make sure that this is going down a straight line down the middle, and then I'll delete this face here, so this face here like that. Now what you want to do is you want to actually go into edge select, grab this edge at the furthest right hand side to it, Shift S, cursor to selected, tab, right click, set origin. This time you want to set it to 3D cursor. And what that's going to do is it's going to make sure that when I bring in the modifier, which will be a mirror, it's going to mirror it exactly on the right side that I want it. So it's not going to mirror it over here or anything like that. And now you can actually play around with these. So if I press tab, grab this edge for instance, I can pull these down as you can see and play around with them a little bit. So you can see first of all that the problem we've got is that these need bringing in like so. It needs to be more of a club shape. So if you look now, if I bring them in and up a little bit, they're definitely more of a club shape, and maybe these want to go in a little bit. And then I'm going to press E and X, and I'm just going to pull them out, and then E, Z, like so. And now I need to join these together. So if you make sure that your clipping's on, and then you press E, X, bring them out, click it on, and now you'll find that you can't pull them out together if clipping's on. If I take clipping off, I can then pull them out, and we don't want that. So clipping on, pull them together, let go, and there we go. Right, let's delete this face. So delete faces, and you should end up with something like that which resembles a club. Now, one thing I do want to do is just bring these in just a little bit more. They're a little bit not close enough together, and I also want to bring these ones in a little bit like that. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, let's press tab, click apply, press tab again. First thing you want to do is delete this edge, so delete dissolve edges like so, and now we just want to fill this in. Now again, on something like this I would press Alt F because it just makes it so easy. It's quite a complex mesh. You can go in and fiddle around with it and fill it in, but for time reasons on this course we're just going to fill it in like that. So now let's grab it, Control A, all transforms, right click, set origin to geometry. Let's make it a little bit smaller, press 1, and what I'm trying to do now is I'm going to grab both of these, and I want it to be as big as this diamond, so I'm going to grab it and make it as big as that diamond. I'm going to pull it into place, and then I'm going to smooth it, so right click, shade smooth, auto smooth, and then turn this up like so. And now let's add in our material, which was card black. Alright, so now let's join these all up together. So Control J, right click, set origin to geometry. Let's make sure they are. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we need to just swap these over now. I think I want the black one behind it, so I'm going to grab this, pull it over, and then grab the red one, pull it out, pull it over, and then just rotate it on the y-axis, something like that, just so we can see both of the cards and they actually come up to where the actual saloon side is. And I think actually I want to rotate that one just very slightly, something like that. And now I'm just looking to make sure that they're not actually touching each other, which they are here, you can see. So let's pull it out just a tiny bit, and that actually looks like somebody's really put this together. Alright, so there we go. So that's the walkway done and the cards done. So what we'll do on the next one is we may probably fill out the rest of the building just so we know where we're going to go, and we might even have time to start our windows. Okay everyone, so I hope you enjoyed that. Please give me a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.